You know, I envy you, Sherry. You can talk to other people and they won't ignore you.
And I envy you. You can ignore any person you're bored with. You don't miss out on much. Most men are dull, unlike yourself.
Well, I'm flattered.
Ich habe mich wieder an etwas erinnert. Ich sah die Hand einer Person, die einen Schlüssel in ihrer Tasche verstaute und eine Tür, die geschlossen wurde, mit der Silhouette einer Frau im Raum hinter der Tür. Die Tür war irgendwo im oberen Stockwerk und in der Nähe hing ein großer Spiegel, glaube ich.
I had a surprise for my mother. I was holding an ancient Greek vase, or rather, quite a big piece of it. You had a shovel with you, John. I remember now. We dug up the vase from Greek ruins here on Cordona and were eager to show my mother right away. For some reason, the door was closed. We knocked.
But nobody answered. We thought that she was busy.
So we left the vase and ran downstairs. I decided to gather some archaeological tools in order to take a closer look at the vase.
But then we heard something, didn't we?
Yes. Came from upstairs.
The vase was broken, shards scattered all over the floor. And your mother was standing at the door.
Indeed, John. I doubt it was her. Let me concentrate. Otto Richter was standing there, furious at us. Dr. Richter told us never to disturb my mother when the door is closed. He said she had broken the vase.
But we didn't believe him. I bet he smashed it. Her things are still here.
Presumably Mycroft never felt the need to sort through it all.
Or couldn't bring himself to.
No. He would have put it behind him and moved on. My brother is not one for sentimentality.
Oh, Alter, hab ich die Backsteps gemacht hier.
Look what I found. The White King is under attack. Sherry, can you save him and checkmate the opponent in one move?
Ist das wieder so ein John-Ding?
You're not obliged to be here, Sherry. We can leave any time you want.
Looks like it was damaged by a blunt object. This room always reeked with an acrid medicinal stench. And here is the reason. This picture was drawn by my mother. I recognize her hand. There's a date on it, 8th of December, 1868. This seems a bit odd. I can recognize my mother's style, but it's far too sloppy. Dated 12th of February, 1869. This picture was drawn by my mother. I recognize her hand. There's a date on it, 8th of December, 1868.
1868 und...
This seems a bit odd. I can recognize my mother's style, but it's far too sloppy. Dated 12th of February, 1869. It's difficult to tell what this is meant to represent. There's no date at all.
Oh, sie ist irgendwann durchgedreht.
Straps on the bed. Just doesn't look right. Seems this was the most frequently used medication. One dram dissolved in a glass of water, administered daily. Not to exceed one dose in 24 hours, not to be given to children.
Mein lieber Sieger, lange ist es her, seit ich das letzte Mal von dir gehört habe. Man könnte fast geneigt sein zu glauben, dass meine letzten Briefe einfach nicht mit deinen Riesen quer über den Kontinent Schritt halten können. Ich hoffe, du bist bei guter Gesundheit und befindest dich bereits wieder auf dem Weg nach Hause. Vergib mir meine Ungeduld, aber ohne deine freundliche Stimme und deine strahlenden Augen erscheint mir das Leben kaum lebenswert. Auch unsere Söhne brauchen ihren Vater. Ich kann dir sagen, dass sie dich wirklich vermissen, selbst Mycroft, der das Herz ja nicht gerade auf der Zunge trägt, wie du weißt. Falls meine letzten Briefe verloren gegangen sind, sollst du wissen, dass wir auf der Insel Cordoda übergesiedelt sind. Komm bitte bald zurück zu deiner Familie. 69.
Oh, I would love to take a bath right now.
Not this one. Surface corrosion suggests it was prone to extreme temperature fluctuations. For medical purposes, I suppose.
Oh, shit, Alter. »65. Mr. Sieger, Morland Holmes, der berühmte Archäologe, Sachverständiger und Historiker, verstarb überraschend im jungen Alter von 41 Jahren. Er erlitt am Samstag während einer Opernvorstellung im Royal Opera London im Londoner Bezirk Covent Garden einen Herzinfarkt. Trotz aller Bemühungen eines Arztes erlangte Mr. Holmes nicht wieder das Bewusstsein und verstarb gestern Abend um 18:20 Uhr. Sein plötzlicher Tod löste in seinem großen Freundes- und Bekannteskreis Bestürzung aus. Mr. Holmes hinterlässt eine Frau Violet sowie seine zwei Söhne Mycroft 16 und Sherlock 6. Die Beisetzung erfolgt am Mittwoch auf dem Highgate Cemetery St. James durch Reverend W. E. Stanley. Highgate Cemetery of St. James.
It's a strange feeling to read about my father's death in the newspaper. I can't recall anything except the deep feeling of loss.
You were too young. It happened before we even met. It's so sad. I'm sorry.
Hä, okay, stimmt doch wirklich. 69. Behandlungsnotiz von Dr. Otto Richter. In den vergangenen Monaten habe ich Miss Holmes gebeten, Landschaften zu zeichnen. Die ersten Zeichnungen, die sie angefertigt hat, waren klar und akkurat. Die weiteren Zeichnungen wichen jedoch immer mehr von der Wirklichkeit ab. Offensichtlich schreitet ihre Erkrankung zügig voran und wirkt sich womöglich auch auf optische Wahrnehmung aus. Eventuell wird eine Trepanation nötig sein. Behandlungstagebuch über Miss Violet Holmes von Dr. Otto Richter. 68. Im ersten Behandlungsgespräch stellte sich heraus, dass die Patientin an Schlafprobleme, Angstzuständen und leichter Verwirrtheit leidet. Ich habe ihr ein starkes Beruhigungsmittel zur täglichen Einnahme verschrieben und wir werden die Symptome weiter im Auge behalten. 3. August 68. Das Beruhigungsmittel hat gegen die Angstzustände geholfen, doch Miss Holmes leidet nun an Katatonie, Apathie und längeren Depressionsepisoden. Darüber hinaus hat sich die Verwirrtheit verstärkt. Sie hat begonnen, Briefe an ihren verstorbenen Ehemann zu schreiben, als ob er noch am Leben wäre. Ich habe 6 weitere Medikamente verschrieben, um ihren Geisteszustand zu stabilisieren, sowie eine wöchentliche Hydrotherapie. November 68. Die aktuelle Medikamentation hat durchschnittliche Ergebnisse gezeigt, wobei sich die Verwirrtheit zu nahezu konstanten Wahnvorstellungen verschlimmert hat. Die Patientin reagiert enorm gereizt, wenn sie ihren Vorstellungen widersprochen wird und neigt dann zu aggressivem Verhalten. Ich habe mittlerweile mehrere Gewaltausbrüche der Patientin gegenüber ihrer Familie und auch sich selbst erlebt. Daher habe ich angeordnet, dass Gitterstäbe an den Fenstern des Hauses angebracht werden und Miss Holmes nachts ans Bett gefesselt wird. Die Dosierung ihrer Medikamentation habe ich erhöht. Zudem habe ich Hypnotherapiesitzungen sowie ein mittelstarkes Halluzinogen verschrieben.
No labels. I doubt it ever had one. There appear to be residues of the bottle's contents at the bottom.
Do you think the doctor could have used these tools here? I hope not.
Oh, it brings back some memories.
Es ist mir gelungen, mir Zugang zu Mutters Zimmer zu verschaffen, welche Erinnerung es wohl in mir aufwachen wird. Ah, okay, deswegen, das ist das, jetzt kann ich das machen, ne? Okay, verteidige den König mit dem Läufer.
Oh, nice move. You saved the king and checkmated the Black King with the rook.
Okay, das war ja jetzt, das, ach Gott, was soll's. So, das sind die Briefe, die wir wieder gelesen haben. Eine Flasche irgendwas herausfinden. Was haben wir hier? Was ist das denn hier? Das ist neu. Wir haben hier 3 grün, minus 4 blau. Orange meine ich natürlich. 3 orange und 2 blau. 4, minus 4. 4, 3, 3. Was bedeutet dieses Zeichen hier? Kann ich irgendwie... Das ist zusammenmixen. Sehr wahrscheinlich bedeutet das minus 4. Okay, Plus-Minus-Zeichen ändern. Das ist sehr cool. -4. So einfach. Die Analyse ergab, dass es sich bei der unbekannten Substanz um ein Halluzinogen handelt, das aus Pilzen gewonnen wurde. Okay. Was haben wir hier? Morgendlicher Wahn. Nach der Durchsuchung des Zimmers meiner Mutter habe ich mich an einen chaotischen Morgen erinnert, den wir erlebt haben.
The broken plate shards were all over the floor. Mycroft had to change his suit as the one he was wearing was completely stained. Mother was troubled that morning. Something we did upset her. Dr. Richter tried to calm her down. We had to put the tray with Mother's morning tea down, but why? It's starting to ring a bell. I think it happened in the morning.
Die Kinder sind nicht so ungeschickt, dass die was fallen lassen. Mutter ist durchgedreht. Stellt das unten ab.
I don't believe you! Liars! Get away from me! It's not true! It's not real!
What? Oh.
Everything will be okay, Sherry. I promise.
War das richtig?
It was the morning of the 9th of April, the day my mother died.
Der 9. April fing gar nicht gut an. Erst hatte Mutter eine Panikattacke und dann wurde sie hysterisch. Sie warf ihr Essen um und schrie ihren Arzt an, den sie einen Lügner nannte. John und ich waren gerade dabei, ihren Morgentee zu bringen. Doch als sie zu schreien anfing, bekam ich Angst. Ich konnte nichts weiter tun, als mich vor dem Bett zusammenzukauern und darauf zu warten, bis alles vorbei war. Zum Glück war John da, um mich zu beschützen und zu beruhigen.
My mother, she was not just ill, but mad. God have mercy.
I'm sorry. That explains why you locked the memory away.
There must be more, John. That was the morning of her death. I need to know what happened. John!
Every time you... I just don't... Please, Sherry, leave it be.
Just breathe, John. You know that I cannot leave the last stone unturned. We are so close.
I know. But can we at least leave it for another day?
It cannot wait. Let us find another door and finally learn the truth.
That's pointless, Sherry. To date, you have had no control over the return of these memories. It is all triggered by your work elsewhere on Cordona. You must accept that this will have to wait. Are you all right?
It feels wrong, sad. Like they're the memories of another man. I'm struggling to reconcile my love for my mother with the reality of who she was. And worse, what possessed Mycroft to lie about it? There are precious few pieces of this puzzle remaining, John. Let us dawdle here no longer.
Indeed. Wait. Did you hear that?
Yes. Metallic salts. What is this sailor doing here?
Nachdem ich mich an den Morgen des Tages erinnert hatte, wenn meine Mutter verstorben war, fühlte sich John unwohl. Seine Reaktion hat mich verstört. Klopfen an jedes Mal klopft an die Tür ihres Herrenhauses. Doch ich erwarte niemanden. Zufall.
Sherlock Holmes, isn't it? I was looking for you.
With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
You can call me your new game. The rules are simple. I have something for you, but you alone must work out what that is.
And that something is my prize, I suppose?
You're a fast learner, sir.
Er hat vor kurzem gemalt. Gut. Alt und abgetragen. Also kann er kein Matrose sein. Ohne wieder zu lesen, nehme ich das erste. Ein Mann in Matrosenuniform suchte mich auf und teilte mir mit, dass mein neues Spiel sei. Ein rosafarbener Klecks in seinem Haar verrät mir, dass der Mann mit der Kunstwelt zu tun hat. Seine Hände zeigen keine Spuren regelmäßiger körperlichen Arbeit, keine Schwielen, keine Hornhaut. Dies widerspricht jedoch seinem Auftreten als Matrose. Nur sehr wenige Künstler kennen meinen Namen oder wissen, wo sie mich finden können. Von daher ist Werner Vogel die naheliegendste Wahl für den Spielleiter. Angesichts des quadratischen Objekts in der Tasche des falschen Matrosen folgere ich, dass er ein Angestellter von Mr. Vogels Kunstgalerie ist und der eigentliche Grund für seinen Besuch darin besteht, mir eine Einladung zu überreichen.
I cannot believe that Mr. Vogel has somehow successfully called my attention to his gallery. You're here with an invitation to visit it, obviously.
My word, you are fast, Mr. Holmes. Could you explain how you came to that conclusion?
Of course. Explanations are my favorite part of any conversation. Hands without any sign of regular physical activity, in contradiction to one who would most usually wear such a uniform. The paint in your hair is pink. I don't know of any military service that paints their ships pink, unless they have launched a new fashionable fleet. A sailor with the soul of an artist? I would suggest rather a gallery employee disguised as a sailor to mislead me. How many artists on the island know where I live and of my passion for deduction? Werner Vogel is clearly at the top of the list. And you've been attempting to conceal something square-shaped within your pocket. An invitation, I suppose. An invitation to Mr. Vogel's gallery.
That was remarkable, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Vogel was right about your genius. I think he may have even underestimated you. This is your invitation. Please tell Mr. Vogel that the seed has been planted. He asked me to tell you to do so, if you win this little game. Farewell.
Einladung in der Kunstgalerie. Mein lieber Sherlock Holmes, wie Sie ohne Zweifel bereits herausgefunden haben dürften, möchte ich Sie zu meiner Kunstausstellung einladen. Dabei geht es mir allerdings nicht nur darum, dass Sie sich an der Schönheit der Werke erfreuen können, vielmehr benötige ich Ihre geniale Fähigkeiten. Die Galerie befindet sich in der Karawanserei an der Kreuzung Bazaar Road und Hermes Avenue in der Altstadt. Bazaar Road und Hermes Avenue. Okay, dann geht's damit weiter. Bazaar Road und Hermes Avenue. Bazaar Road. Bazaar, Hermes Avenue. Bookstore.
A fresh newspaper? I wish you pleasant reading.
Elefant adoptiert zum zweiten Mal. Wo kann ich denn diese Zeitung, die ich mir kaufe, wo kann ich mir die durchlesen? Das ist dann... Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Bereits das zweite Mal, dass Goliath adoptiert wurde. Er hatte sich zuvor im Besitz von Theodor Gilden befunden, der jedoch in einem Ausbruch von Aggression von dem Tier getötet worden war. Wir haben bereits letzte Woche von diesem unglückseligen Ereignis berichtet, obwohl die Tochter des Verstorbenen nichts unversucht gelassen hatte, das Tier exekutieren zu lassen, konnte Goliath dem Tod entrinnen, da sich der Wohltäter Fergus Tailhart seiner annahm und nun einen weiteren Elefanten sein eigen nennen kann. Falls die Gerüchte stimmen und es sich bei Mr. Tailharts anderem Elefanten um ein Weibchen handelt, dürfte sich Goliath freuen. Miss Gilden versucht unterdessen, die Sache vor Gericht zu bringen, mit der Hoffnung, dass der Gerechtigkeit Genüge getan und das Ungetüm hingerichtet wird. Okay. Jetzt der Faustdick hinter den Ohren. Ist das die Galerie hier?
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific. I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
I will see what I see. Ja.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry? Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
Ist das jetzt angeklickt worden oder nicht?
A simplistic attempt at provocation. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. Old, and hasn't been used for a long time. A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
Ist das hier ein Sexkiller? Ein BDSM-Ding?
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Sodden and mold-ridden. One presumes deliberately. Saturn devouring his sun. Oh, grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
The parasites of creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache. A Maupalbot. Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing.
Es ging nur um das eine Bild, glaube ich. Nee, warte mal. Wie haben wir? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Bilder. Am gestrigen Abend hörte Werner Vogel Geräusche aus dem Untergalerie gegen Hunde, sah sich dort aber nur kurz um. Im AC Swinburne-Raum fanden wir einen Sarg vor. Darin liegt ein Skelett. Wenig bewegt wurde. Auf dem Sargdeckel hinterließ jemand Kohleabdruck. Schuhabdrücke sind dabei. Linker Fuß ist kürzer, das auf Hinken. Alle Gemälde abgehängt. Auf dem Boden befindet sich Asche von verbrannten Gemälde, aber auch ein leerer Bilderrahmen. In der Nähe davon fanden wir einen Marper, Zigarettenstummel mit Fingerabdrücken aus Kohle.
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
I wish I could show you the gallery under different circumstances, but life is beautiful in its unpredictability, isn't it?
Closed with a metal bolt. Footprints. Size 9.5. The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft. The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Verfall, Dekadenz oder um den Tod? Ich glaube um Verfall.
Extravagant paintings have been left to rot in a basement. A commentary on decay and the crumbling of society, correct?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many, filtered through the subjective mind.
Okay, somit hätte man dann auch umgehen können, dass man ankreuzen kann, was man möchte.
Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Kann ich die einfach fragen? Das wäre, glaube ich...
I'm curious, how did Mycroft recruit you? I doubt you're a field agent. I imagine you work with intelligence.
That's correct. Your brother noticed me when I tracked down a spy at the archives. That's how our cooperation began. And you? Did Mycroft force you into this?
Not at all. We simply have a mutual interest in someone. Or something.
Of course. A fruitful and willing collaboration, I'm sure.
Well, I'm his younger brother. I have to accept the consequences of being a close relative of an official figure.
I suppose in a way we are colleagues, Mr. Holmes.
In the remotest way possible, Miss Oni.
Okay, wir suchen in Altstadt. Zeitraum. Personengruppe. Oh Gott! Eine bekannte Persönlichkeit, also Personengruppe, Bürger, Amtsträger, Geburten, Eheschließung, Sterbefälle, Tätigkeit, Rechtsdokument. Eine bekannte Persönlichkeit, aber er ist ja nicht Amtsträger, der ist ja Kunsttyp. Ich glaube, ich bin im falschen Dingens hier. Wir haben hier das Rathaus von Cordona. Was haben wir denn noch? Das ist die Polizeiwache.
I'll be right here.
Der Maler Boniface, der Maler, er ist ein Maler. Also ist er... Na, das ist wieder... Ich kann doch nicht raten, Alter. Ja, genau, da machen wir den neuen Eindruck.
Mr. Holmes, I have something for you. Mr. Holmes, I see what you're up to. Mysterious stranger pursues betrothed woman. But please, let us keep things professional. I have in my possession an envelope containing details of a special assignment for you. Tell me, are you interested?
Miss Sertle, I am not pursuing you, and I am not pursuing further work at the minute.
Well, it shall wait for you here. Do come back. It's quite something.
Aha! Schlägerei bei Gemäldeverkauf. In der vergangenen Woche ereignete sich ein neuerlicher Skandal in den sogenannten höheren Künstlerkreisen. Den Ausgangspunkt bildete eine Verkaufsveranstaltung für Gemälde unter dem Namen Tanz der Dekadenz. Der Leiter eines Verlagshauses, Daron, der Löwe, Terwig, machte der gemütlichen Zusammenkunft ein jähes Ende, indem er einen Stuhl auf den als dekadent geltenden Maler Boniface Mercury schleuderte. Wie Mr. Terwig später zu Protokoll gab, tat er dies, weil Mr. Mercury seinen Namen entehrt habe. An dieser Stelle möchte ich die werte Leserschaft daran erinnern, dass Mr. Mercury mit Miss Terwig in einem Kaffeehaus gesehen worden war. Nachdem Stuhlwurst sprang der Orchesterdirigent Kurt Gallagher seinem Freund Mr. Mercury zur Seite, indem er ein Gemälde auf Mr. Terwig einschlug. Daraufhin begann ein großes Handgemenge. in das auch zahlreiche Kunden verwickelt wurden. Nach einer erstaunlich langen Zeit der Schläge und Tritte traf die Polizei ein. Alle Hautefoli-Schläger wurden verhaftet und für eine Woche in Gewahrsam genommen. Was war das für ein atemberaubendes Ereignis, als ihr teuerster Kunstratgeber würde ich Ihnen an dieser Stelle vorschlagen, sich ein Souvenir von dieser Verkaufsveranstaltung zu sichern, doch leider ist sie bereits zu Ende gegangen. Dafür gibt Boniface Mercury unseren Lesern jedoch die Möglichkeit, seine Werke bei sich zu Hause zu bewundern und zu kaufen. Der Maler lebt in der Holmes Avenue zwischen der Scarlet Street und Olive Street. Holmes Avenue hatten wir schon mal gehabt. Holmes Avenue, Olive Street. Wo steht denn hier die Straßennamen jetzt? Ja, genau, deswegen bin ich hier. Danke für den Tipp.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, Mum. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
Ja, ich bin Bewohner.
Oh, Alter.
Ich möchte eine Wohnung kaufen.
No. Visitors allowed.
Ja, verkleiden, ernsthaft. Muss ich mich so verkleiden wie er? Bitte nicht, ey. Das mit dem Verkleiden habe ich noch nicht so richtig raus irgendwie.
Come. Don't. Let's pick something that suits you.
Junge, was ist das hier? Irgendwas mit einem offenen Hemd war das, ne? Sowas war das. Gott, Alter. Was war's
A
noch?
good choice. A
Ein
good
Bart.
choice indeed.
Ein Bart, ne? Ich brauche ein Bart. Ich hab keine Bärte.
Nein, let's pick something that suits you.
Macht er auch Bärte? Hier gibt's nichts, was einem 3-Tage-Bart ähnelt. Doch, der hier. Der hier. Ach, guck mal. Ja, ja, okay.
A good choice. A good choice indeed.
Irgendwie sieht das alles aus. Jetzt wird sie mich gleich anhalten, weil ich nicht weiß, in welches Zimmer ich direkt instant gehen muss.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah. Old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just...
Entschuldigung,
And I
alter
won't
Schwede,
fall
habt euch
for
jetzt
those
erschrocken.
cow eyes.
Na, wo ist Jutz der denn? Da so. Okay. Stepfen wir ja nochmal durchs Blut, damit wir überall Spuren hinterlassen hier. Huha, huha.
I wonder where he got that fancy camera. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching.
Krass, das ist die Schlussfolgerung daraus. Okay.
It appears the wine was truly awful. Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. Could be the murder weapon. A normal kitchen knife.
Okay, jetzt haben wir wenigstens ein richtiges... Was zum Teufel, John, Alter! Schock, oh, 10.000.
Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. The chest has been searched. Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting.
Warum liegt da ein... Egal, einfach ignorieren, einfach dran vorbeigehen.
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material.
Ja, und ich nehme das da jetzt nicht raus, oder was?
Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
Ich fand Mercurys Leiche in seiner Wohnung auf dem Bogen, alles voller Blut aus seiner durchgeschnittenen Kehle ausgetreten war. Bei der Leiche fand ich ein Küchenmesser und blutige Lumpen. An den Fingerknöcheln sah ich Blutergüsse. Die Leichenstrache nach dem Urteil liegt der Tote bereits seit 1 oder 2 Tagen dort. Als wir seine Wohnung betraten, fanden wir eine Leiche auf dem Boden vor. Auf dem Schreibtisch bei der Wohnungstür befindet sich eine zerbrochene Weinflasche und ein zerbrochener Bilderrahmen mit blauen Stofffasern. Die offenen Schubladen deuten darauf hin, dass der Tisch durchsucht wurde. Das zweite Zimmer der Wohnung bildet eine Mercury dunkle Kammer, in der wir Entwicklungsflüssigkeit und eine ruinierte Fotografie gefunden haben.
Don't look at me like that, Sherry. I will not touch that dirty floor.
The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called expressionism.
Also, was haben wir hier? Nee, er hat bestimmt den einer gegeben. Oh, ne, Selbstmord. Erstmal natürlich nicht. Ich erkenne das nicht, was das sein soll. Tötet er den hier oder rettet er ihn? Ich habe keine Ahnung. Also die Idee ist, irgendwer durchsucht das, er sieht das, greift ihn an. Kleines Handgemenge, deswegen zerbrochene Weinflasche. Dann greift er zum Messer, schneidet ihm die Kehle durch, tötet ihn. Und hier haben wir auch noch was. Probieren wir aus.
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him.
Also auch wenn der Eindringling nicht töten wollte, ist es schon mal Mord.
It's time for some chemical magic, John.
So, was haben wir hier? 4 Orange, 3 Grün, 4 Blau. Dann sieht der doch schon mal ganz gut aus. Der sieht ganz gut aus. Und einen Grün, haben wir den auch? Ne, ne? 2 Grün brauche ich. Den hier. Sieht das gut aus? 3, 4, 2, 3 und einen blauen. Einen blauen hätten wir nicht. Wir haben 3 blaue, 2 grüne. 4 grüne, 2 blaue haben wir hier. Was ist das denn für ein Symbol hier? 4, 5, 3. Alles plus 1. Dann, wenn das alles plus 1 ist, dann habe ich doch meine Lösung. 3, dann ist das hier 3, 2, 3. Nee, stimmt nicht. Drei, 1. Blaue. Drei habe ich hier dann. Aber ich brauche 4, 2. Vier, 5. Nein. Hä? Was mache ich denn da? Ich glaube, den hier zu nehmen ist dumm. So. Dann mixen wir die beiden zusammen. Dann haben wir hier ein 4-3er plus das Zusammenmixen-Ding. 4-3-4. 4-3-4. Gemälde aus der Wohnung. Mit Hilfe von Chemikalien konnte ich das Blut vom Gemälde entfernen. Es handelt sich um ein Stillleben von Mr. Mercurys Wohnung. Was haben wir jetzt hier? Das bedeutet Zahnrad nochmal. Zahnrad. Nutzen für Gegenstand finden.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting.
Ah, okay. Ich
Spot the two differences, John?
Das Skelett, was hier liegt, muss da hinhängen.
Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
Ach, komm schon. Ich muss doch sehen, wie die da ausgesehen haben, Alter. Was ist das? John hält es für keine gute Idee, der Vermieterin zu sagen, dass Mr. Mercury tot ist. Er schlug stattdessen vor, dass ich mich weiterhin als Maler ausgeben sollte. Oh. Okay, ne? Wir haben bisher immer verkackt, wenn das hier gewesen ist. Also machen wir jetzt tatsächlich das, was John sagt. Ich weiß nicht, ob das eine kluge Idee ist. Keine Ahnung.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared.
Okay,
and
cool.
I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes.
Oha.
My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat, and don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
Ach, das passiert also automatisch. Und diesen 3-Tage-Bad hat er mir nicht weggenommen, oder was? Junge, alles Amateure hier. Ja, ich bin der junge Sherlock. So, was haben wir jetzt hier? Stecknadel und 3 solche Dinge. Ich weiß nicht, was diese 3 Dinge wieder bedeuten hier. Personen in deiner Nähe befragen. Rituellen Stammesnamen. Das ist alles, was ich habe, oder was? Person in meiner...
Not bad.
Person in meiner Nähe. Ach, okay, hier, das klicke ich einfach durch. Galeriedieb war in Mercury's Wohne. Boniface, Mercury Mörder und der Galeriedieb sind eine dieser Personen. Gehe ich auch von aus. Der Besucher könnte versucht haben, die schreckliche Fotografie zu finden und mitzunehmen. Das kann gut sein. Der Dieb wollte den Maler nicht töten. Der Dieb hatte nicht vor, den Maler Boniface zu ermorden. Das kann auch so sein. Der Dieb wollte die Fotografie stehlen. Der Dieb wollte in der Wohnung die Fotografie stehlen, fand sie jedoch nicht und tötete ihn unabsichtlich. Also, wie funktioniert das Spiel? Das wird ja nicht so sein, dass die Leute, die hier rumlaufen... Das ist natürlich gut, ne? Arabische Schauspielerin leidet an Skorbut, freundlich. Oh Gott, das will ich gar nicht sehen. Okay, also wir fragen die Person in meiner Nähe.
Is this familiar to you?
I cannot be of help, sir. Someone else might know better.
Was passiert, wenn ich jetzt nochmal hier reingehe? Weil sie wäre ja die Person in meiner Nähe.
You're acting so strange today, dear. I hope someday you'll let me inside that head of yours.
Okay. Person in meiner Nähe. Ich hätte das jetzt hier verstanden. Wenn jetzt hier irgendwie jemand so stehen würde.
Could you help me?
So you think if we have money, we should bow to your whims? No, sir.
Do you know anything about this?
It's funny when someone like you asks someone like me for help.
Ich werde so nicht weiterkommen. Ich brauche einen Anhaltspunkt. Irgendwas Bestimmtes. Was ist denn hier alles in meiner Nähe? Nichts, ne? Mhm.
Could you help me?
I'd help you if I knew.
Could you help me?
You and I are the economic foundation of this island. We should help each other. But I don't know what you are talking about.
Time to check your who, what and what, Sherry. Who are you asking, about what and dressed as what?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
You have a nerve to talk to me. Get back to work.
Excuse me, just one question.
What a coincidence. I only learned of this recently myself.
Gott sei Dank, ey. Oh Mann, manchmal ist das so dumm. Die Narben auf dem Gesicht der Frau scheinen ihren Ursprung bei Stammesvolk der Ewe zu haben. Auf Cordona kann man Ewe nur im Flüchtlingslager unter der Victoria-Brücke zwischen Skaldio und Silverstone finden. Skaldio und Silvertone. Skaldio und Silvertone. Hier irgendwo unter der Brücke. Victoria-Brücke, Victoria-Brücke, Skaldon. Ist das die Victoria-Brücke? Silverstone, Skaldio. Achso, warte, was steht da? Victoria-Brücke. Rolling Bridge. Torbrücke. Victoria-Brücke. Also verkleiden, auch wenn ich mit Leuten reden muss. Unter der Brücke.
Beasts!
Murderers!
They're completely livid. First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
Muss ich mich jetzt als Polizisten verkleiden?
Where do you think you're going? Speak with the chief.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
Okay, ja, wenn man Augenringe hat, dann ja. Versucht älter auszusehen. Autoritär zu wirken. Schwitzt ist angespannt. Keine Socken. Ekelhaft. Ronald Harlow ist ein blasser junger Beamter, der sein Bestes gibt, um ein Flüchtlingslager unter Kontrolle zu halten, über das er im Auftrag der Stadtverwaltung die Aufsicht hat. Es ist nicht allzu glücklich über diesen große Verantwortung, hält sich jedoch streng an die Vorschriften und erledigt alle Aufgaben, die ihm übertragen wurden. Allerdings scheint ihm die Erfahrung zu fehlen, um die Probleme fertig zu werden, die sich außerhalb seines Büros abspielen. Mit seinem flaumigen Schnurrbart versucht er älter auszusehen, als er tatsächlich ist. Seine blasse Haut und dunklen Augenringe deuten darauf hin, dass er sein Büro nur schwach beleuchtet ist. Zudem verlässt er es selten, was an seinen sauberen und kaum zerschlissenen Schuhen zu erkennen ist. Mit seiner Kleidung will er respekteinflößend aussehen, doch angesichts des Wetters auf Cordona wirkt das unpassend. Seine schwitzenden Handflächen legen den Schluss nahe, dass es eine große Belastung für Mr. Harlow darstellt, sich außerhalb einer Komfortzone zu bewegen.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help.
Ist gerade das Licht ausgegangen?
All right, Mr. Holmes.
Oder ist das
I'll
Licht
tell
in
the
meiner
police to allow you
Bude
to come
ausgegangen?
inside.
Nein, ne?
Just tell me when you're ready.
Ich habe gar kein Licht an.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution, and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do, and what I am responsible for, are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
Are the police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Hat er auch schnell Platz gemacht hier.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
A steel dirk, sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping, John. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John. Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk.
Ist das unser Mörder? Die Leiche des Eindringlings trieb im Wasserkanal, bevor die Polizei sie von dort herausfischte. In der Brust des Mannes steckte ein Messer.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go to hell.
Herausfinden, welche Funktion der Durchgang hat.
they find out about the passage...
Geld? Warum denn Geld? Wegen Schmuggel oder was?
If they find out about...
Was geht? Im Flüchtlingslager vor sich. Einige Polizisten befürchten, dass das Lager aufgrund der Angelegenheiten mit der Leiche vollständig abgeriegelt wird, wodurch sie mit ihren illegalen Aktivitäten kein Geld mehr verdienen würden.
Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly. Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea? We have seen some dark places in Cordona, but this...
Help me, please.
The law can't help you with that.
Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
Neun?
Clearly a left handprint here.
Okay. Also warte mal, wir haben dann jetzt hier 1, 2, 9, 8.
A man's footprint. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole. Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence.
9. Also dann haben wir hier die 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 haben wir dann hier.
A blood trail leading to or from the canal. A furrow in the ground.
Will man mich verarschen? Das war doch alles gerade vorher noch gar nicht hier, oder?
Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
Also die Dinger kommen nach der Reihe. Das ist doch bescheuert dann. Wenn hier alle liegen würden und man dann einfach alle durchgehen müsste.
Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
Ja, ist doch gut. Ich will ja rein.
Back off.
Alter! Das ist ein Scheiß Ernst.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
Hä, was hat er gesagt? Okay. Brustrein ist tief bluten, er hat Fieber, ist dehydriert, der Mann wird an einer Infektion sterben, wenn der Wunde nicht behandelt wird. Ich sollte versuchen, etwas im Lager aufzutreiben, damit ich mir helfen kann. Was ich für die Wunde brauche, etwas zum Säubern, Desinfizieren, Verbinden. Säubern, Desinfizieren, Verbinden. Säubern, Desinfizieren, Verbinden.
That will kill, not save him.
Okay, gut zu wissen.
It won't do any good. Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound. I'll use it to create a solution.
Desinfizieren sehr wahrscheinlich noch, ne? Alter. Nee, noch nicht alles.
Can I ask you a question?
The law can't help you with that.
I'm afraid these leaves can only be added to tea.
Also brauche ich echt jetzt eine Pflanze? Aloe Vera.
I can use this to stop the infection from spreading.
Ja, ich habe doch alle drei Sachen. Muss ich das jetzt noch aufnehmen extra? Okay, ja. Okay. Habe ich den jetzt erledigt oder nicht? Ich muss die Sachen nur anfassen hier?
I've collected all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
-3, -4, 5. -3, minus... 4 und 2. Nein, will ich nicht. Ich will es so einfach wie nur möglich wieder haben. Was ist das denn eigentlich hier schon wieder für ein Ding? 3. Ach so, der macht einfach ein Minus auf alles. Okay, Brudis. Macht er denn -6? Okay. So, 3-1. Damit fangen wir an. Umwandeln auf -3, -1. Oh, das geht gar nicht. Nee, so wollte ich. Dann nehmen wir das hinzu. Dann bin ich bei -3, -3, 3. Dann brauche ich noch -1 plus 2. Habe ich sowas? Ein Grün. Hätten wir hier. Und 2 blaue. Haben wir hier. Was ist denn der hier? 2 blaue. Ein grüner. Ach so, oh nee, what? Nee. Das war nicht der richtige, das war der richtige. Scheiße. Jetzt hier macht -3, -2, 5 habe ich. Was habe ich denn dann nur -2? Ach, ich wollte das Vorzeichen noch ändern, ne? Vorzeichen ändern war das hier, ne? -3. Ich brauche noch -1 grün. Hier habe ich einen Zweier. Und daraus kann ich doch -1 machen. -1 plus Vorzeichen ändern. -1, -4, 3, 4, 5. Geht doch. Was zum Teufel, Alter. Got it. Ich habe eine Lösung hergestellt, um die Wunde zu säubern. Genau, das ist
Thank you.
Bitte sehr.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Okay, next step. Was geht im Flüchtlingslager vor? Einige Polizisten befürchten, dass der Lager aufgrund der Angelegenheiten mit der Leiche vollständig abgeregelt wird, wodurch sie mit ihren illegalen Aktivitäten kein Geld mehr verdienen würden. John schlägt vor, dass wir der Sache auf den Grund gehen, indem wir uns im Lager umhören. Allerdings sollten wir das tun, bevor wir das Lager verlassen, für den Fall, dass es tatsächlich vollständig abgeregelt wird. Okay, machen wir gleich, bevor wir das Lager verlassen. So, und hier haben wir müssen herausfinden, wie der Eindringling ins Flüchtlingslager gelangt ist. Welche Möglichkeiten gibt es?
Back off.
It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards. No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs. Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates.
Ich hätte gesagt tauchen, ne? Aber... Okay, sorry. Achso, ich stehe hier schon wieder. What the fuck?
Did you hear another song? Did you hear another? Did you hear another sailor?
Am Strand unweit des Friedhofs fand man die Leiche eines ertrunkenen Matrosen. Auf der Insel erzählt man sich Schauergeschichten über Sirenen, aber das ist nur Aberglauben, oder? Wie komme ich denn da jetzt wieder hin?
Does this poster truly claim that Cordona has a ghost?
So, die Lösung in diesem Loch da oben. Doch nicht. Ich hätte jetzt ganz klar gesagt, den Vordereingang benutzt.
Help me, please. Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others. Can I ask you a question? Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry. You sure you know what you're doing?
Halt doch die Fresse, Mann. Mach's doch besser, verdammte Kacke. Viel Blut verloren.
Is this familiar to you? Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this. Back off.
Ich bin doch Polizist, Mann.
Do you know anything about this? Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
You still here?
I'll just look around and do my paperwork. You won't even notice me.
I wish.
Der Schurke war auch in Vogels Galerie. Der Tote aus dem Flüchtlingslager war derjenige, der in Werner Vogels Galerie eingebrochen ist.
We have seen some dark places in Cordona, but this...
Echt jetzt hier vorne?
A single Malpal butt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers.
Aber als ich dort das erste Mal hier durchgegangen bin, hat das da noch nicht gelegen.
Good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
So, wird gedragt. Ah, okay, das ist der Unterschied mit, er hat sie beschützt und er hat sie gedragt. Genau, wegen den Fußabdrücken muss das halt... Muss man den Fußabdruck erfassen, ne? Und dann hat er ihn erstochen. Passt das so? Also diese Fußspuren sind definitiv hier gezerrt. Gezerrte Spuren. Dann war das hier nicht verteidigt, sondern das muss dann ja halt ein Angreifer gewesen sein. Er wollte sie dann hier beschützen. Sie wollte weg, hat sie nicht gelassen. Dann hat er die weggeschubst, Perle ist kaputt gegangen. Hier gibt es halt keine Perle, die kaputt gegangen ist. So, dann gab es hier das Handgemenge. Oder ist er einfach abgehauen? Na, wo war das mit den Fußspuren? Hä? Fußspuren? Die linke Schuhsohle ist stärker. Der Mann muss abhinken. Die Klinge ist schräg nach oben eingedrungen. Die Stichwunde ist allerdings nicht sauber genug und weist Einschnitte auf. So als ob der Dolch umherbewegt wurde, während er in der Wunde steckte. Ist er denn abgehauen oder nicht? Ach so, ja, warte. Wenn die hier gekämpft haben, Das sagt mir schon die Lösung dieser Sound hier. Da drüber gestolpert. Und dann... Hat er sich die Klinge selber in die Brust gerammt? Wenn der so reingetreten worden wäre, dann könnte er ja nicht so drin liegen. Das heißt, er muss ja vorwärts reingefallen sein. Oh Gott, das ist doch
So,
alles
we have a
falsch.
thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Der Halunke gelangte ungehindert durch den Haupteingang. Jawohl. So, das ist dann mein Tathergang. Aber ich will das ja jetzt noch machen, ne? Was geht im Lagerfeuer? John schlägt vor, dass wir die Sache auf den Grund gehen, indem wir uns im Lager umhören. Allerdings sollten wir das tun, bevor wir das Lager verlassen, für den Fall, dass es tatsächlich vollständig abgeregelt wird. Also bevor ich jetzt rausgehe, muss ich mich umhören.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray
Nein.
tell me what you've learned.
Jetzt sag mir nicht, dass ich
Right,
damit
listen carefully.
rausgehe.
This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clock can make any difference in this place?
Okay.
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Naylor, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Naylor doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
Der Mann, der tot im Lager gefunden wurde, hat eine auffällige Tätowierung, zwei übereinander geordnete horizontale Linien mit Punkten darüber. Dieser Mann kam nicht aus reinem Zufall her, vielmehr spielt er eine sehr wichtige Rolle bei diesem Fall und seine Tätowierung könnte mir helfen, diese Rolle zu verstehen. Ich will jetzt aber immer noch das hier machen.
At least some of your kind have a hat. Thank you again.
Is this familiar to you?
They often take us from the camp to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way to get a glimpse of freedom.
Den Aussagen der Flüchtlinge zufolge kommen regelmäßig zwielichte Personen ins Lager und nehmen Flüchtlinge mit, die dann außerhalb des Lagers unterschiedliche Arbeit verrichten. Dabei handelt es sich für gewöhnlich um schwere Arbeit. Doch die Flüchtlinge bekommen dafür Geld und Essen. Die Frau, die aus dem Lager entführt werden sollte, wurde einmal missbraucht, nachdem sie vorgeblich zum Arbeiten mitgenommen worden war. Seitdem haben die Flüchtlinge nicht mehr zugelassen, dass Frauen aus dem Lager geschleust
Was
werden.
that depravity in the photograph one of the workplaces the refugees are taken to? And all the while the police look the other way. Ugh, typical.
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
I can't imagine what this woman had to go through. Neither she nor her child deserved any of this.
Jetzt sitzen da noch mehr.
Are you able to help me?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or you just
Can I ask you a question?
people on purpose.
Sorry, we don't see much here.
Is this familiar to you?
Sorry. We don't see much here.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Ach komm, John, Mann. Ich soll die Scheiße hier jetzt einfach irgendwie befragen alle, damit auch du irgendwann mal glücklich bist.
These events have fractured into so many pieces. But I know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
Jetzt ist ja noch jemand dazu gekommen.
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry. We don't see much here.
Do you know anything about this?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack.
Ja, welche denn? Ich habe das nicht gelernt. Es gab kein Tutorial, die gesagt haben, wie man mit Leuten redet. Vergewaltiger ist hochrangiger Beamter. Derartige Orden werden für gewöhnlich nur hochrangigen Staatsdienst verliehen, sowie dem Vergewaltiger auf dem Foto. Der Schurke wollte die Frau entführen. Der Schurke kam ins Flüchtlingslager, um eine junge Frau zu entführen. Er hatte sie töten können, tat es aber nicht. Nicht nur Dieb, sondern auch Handlanger. Der Schurke ist nicht nur ein Dieb, sondern wollte auch die Frau entführen, ein Handlanger für verschiedene Aufgaben.
Na.
Warum leuchtet hier manchmal so ein Shit immer? Das ist doch nicht normal. Was fehlt mir schon wieder, ey? Warum fuckt mich das gerade so richtig ab?
At least some of your kind have a hat. Thank you again.
Die will nicht mit mir reden.
Terrible events are behind that canvas, Sherry.
Der will nicht mit mir reden. Die will nicht mit mir reden. Die wollen nicht mit mir reden. Die will nicht mit mir reden.
These events have fractured into so many
Der will auch nicht
pieces.
mit mir reden.
But I know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
Der auch nicht. Die auch nicht. Die beiden auch nicht mehr. Die auch nicht. Dann rennen wir einmal kurz hier raus. Hier gibt's auch keinen wieder, der mit uns reden will.
Murder! Beasts!
Der hier auch nicht, der auch nicht. Was bist du für einer? Auch nicht. Och, leck mich doch.
You still here?
I'll just look around and do my paperwork. You won't even notice me.
I wish.
Ach so,
You
ach
still
warte,
here?
Beweise präsentiert ist ja was anderes, ne? Genau.
Your problem, not mine.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
Warum haben
The
die jetzt noch
intruder
weiter
has a most
geredet?
peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scaladio. His company exports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right?
Echt? Ja, das war's? Oh mein Gott.
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
Alle Hinweise erhalten.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
Okay. Wenn ich das doch jetzt habe, dann ist der nächste Schritt Bücherei nachgucken, ne? Ja, genau. Das ist die Frage, welches ist das wieder hier? Ist das Rathaus oder ist das hier dieses Cordana Chronicles? Auffällige Tätowierung. Geschäftsmann aus Gedalio. Du bist alles da. Erstmal Outfit ändern hier. Das ist. Ich kann doch nicht wieder so kacke rumlaufen. So.
Have you found anything helpful?
Personengruppe, Unternehmen. Gedalio. Geschäftsmann. Ja. Ich glaube, ich bin in der falschen Dienst. Stadtteils Gedalio. Tja. Ich kann doch damit auch nichts anfangen. Wo kann ich denn noch hin? dass das auch weiß. Hat die ein Archiv gehabt? Polizeistation? Ich weiß das schon. Ich bin falsch. Archiv. Oh Mann! Vernehmungsprotokoll. Nicolo Bertadotti, 34 geboren, ist ein auf Cortona bekannter Geschäftsmann und Kunstmäzen. Er ist der Gründer und Eigentümer der Bertadotti Company, Grüne 73, Hauptsitz Südösterreicher 3, Skedelio, Bazar Road, in der Nähe Kreuzung Roman irgendwas. Mr. Bernadotti wurde 13. Februar 76 nach einem Hinweis in unserer anonymen Quelle vernommen. Den Angaben des Informanten zufolge ist Mr. Bernadotti in den Schmuggel von Spirituosen und antiken Kunstgegenständen zwischen den britischen Kolonien Cortona und dem restlichen Vereinigten Königreich verwickelt. Personen, die vorgeblich in Mr. Bernardottis Firma angestellt sind, waren zuvor bereits in eine Reihe von strafbaren Handlungen verwickelt, darunter Raub, Überfälle, Gewaltverwendung, organisiertes Verbrechen und Erpressung. Bernadotti wurde lediglich als Zeuge zur Vernehmung vorgeladen, da es keine stichhaltigen Beweise für eine Anklage gegen ihn gibt. Während der Vernehmung, die ich gemeinsam mit Officer Booth durchgeführte habe, gab Mr. Bernadotti zu Protokoll nichts über die von unseren Informanten genannten Aktivitäten zu wissen. Über seine Aktivitäten vor seiner Umsiedlung nach England existieren keine Informationen. Laut eigener Aussage lebte Mr. Bernadotti bis 1973 auf Sizilien in Italien, wo er ein Warengeschäft betrieb. Danach zog er nach London und begann mit seinen Importgeschäften. Zusammenfassung: Es ist nicht möglich, Mr. Bernadotti etwas zur Last zu legen. Inspektor Harbrider. Okay. Südöstlicher Teil von Skedelio, Bazar Road, in der Nähe Kreuzung mit der Roman Road. Bazar und Roman Road. Bazar und Roman Road. Bazar Road. Bazar Road, Roman Road, da ist es. Ich muss noch was suchen. John zeichnete die Fotografie einer Vergewaltigung nach. Ich hätte die Fotografie zuvor in Mr. Mercurys Wohnung gefunden. Auf der Zeichnung ist der Vergewaltiger zu sehen. Ein Mann im roten Anzug mit Schwänzen auf dem Rücken. Nila zeichnete eine auffällige kreuzförmigen Orden, den sie auf der Brust des Vergewaltigers gesehen hatte. Orden wie diesen werden normalerweise in hochrangigen britischen Amtsträgern verliehen, von denen nicht gerade viele Corona bereits, geschweige denn auf der Insel verarbeitet haben. Okay, Skedelio. Polizeibeamter. Oh Gott! Verbrechen? Nein, oder doch? Verbrechen schon, aber... Ich muss irgendwie den finden. Was war jetzt nochmal die Aussage? Ich hab's schon wieder vergessen. Und wenn ich jede einzelne Tür durchsuchen muss. Den anderen Hinweis folgen, ne?
It seems they're not expecting guests.
I won't wait for an invitation, John.
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp.
That's our way in, Sherry.
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
I'm here to discuss business with Mr. Bernadotte. I tried the front door, but...
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotte's best interest to...
1...
Listen, the man Bernadotte sent to...
2...
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
Nein. Nein. Komm.
I'm coming for you.
Take a rest, my friend.
I'm coming.
Too simple.
I'm coming.
Take a rest, my...
The snuff's ready.
No more crime for you until next month.
It won't work this way.
I couldn't miss the party.
Hello there. Too simple.
I'm coming.
Give him the pepper snuff.
No more crime for you.
The snuff's ready.
Au, Alter.
Don't cry, you'll live.
Weaken him first.
I couldn't miss the party.
Ach komm schon, Alter.
I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
I'm coming for you.
May I? Don't bother moving. You've lost. No more.
The snuff's ready.
Don't bother move.
The snuff's ready.
Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff. You can overcome.
Don't bother moving.
The snuff's ready.
Das Fokussieren hätte man so viel
No
cooler
more crime for
gestalten.
you.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
You've disappointed me so much, Sherlock.
Hä?
You've disappointed me so much, Sherlock.
Was? Warum? Leck mich doch am Arsch, Alter.
Sherry, look. This seems familiar.
Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa. A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least. VH Grindley Flow Blue tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited. Let's see what's hidden there. Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here?
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
This marble fella. It's like he was made after my image. You see it?
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
Have you ever tried to pick up your teeth with broken fingers?
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got to... It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
Okay, ist also der einzige Eingang.
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor. 1875. It was taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family. Spare me.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Then come here, and we shall talk. Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Bernadotte ist ein skrupelloser Bandenanführer, der sich nicht davor scheut, sich die Hände schmutzig zu machen, um seine Macht zu demonstrieren. Da er in jungen Jahren hart arbeiten musste, hat er seinen Hass gegen seine Umwelt entwickelt. Er erwartet ständig Schwierigkeiten und neigt auch selbst dazu, Schwierigkeiten zu machen. Er wuchs in ärmlichen Verhältnissen auf und musste von Kindesbeinen an mit anpacken. Die harte Schufterei und Mangelernährung führten dazu, dass er an Pellagra erkrankte. Diese Krankheit hat er überwunden, aber die Spuren sind weiterhin auf seiner Haut zu sehen. Er weigert sich, diese Spuren unter modischer Kleidung zu verbergen, damit er niemals vergisst, wie er zu dem Mann wurde, der heute ist. Bernadotte und seine Männer haben unterschiedliche Tätowierungen desselben Stils. Diese Tätowierungen stellen höchstwahrscheinlich einen Code dar, welcher die verschiedenen Ränge einer durchstrukturierten und geheimen kriminellen Organisation repräsentiert.
Bad news. The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotte, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
Mr. Bernadotte, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization, and thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotte.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office.
As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotte?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, and I am compelled to ask why you want it. Who is the man visible in the photograph? An associate?
Not yet, Mr. Holmes. Though with this picture, that may change. The man in the photo is a British envoy on Cordona.
What exactly do you want from him?
My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses, all too often, disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home, outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So, in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
Nila wurde Missbrauch und fast entführt. Primär muss ich dafür sorgen, dass es ihr und ihrem Kind wieder gut gehen wird. Niccolo Bernadotte ist auf der Suche nach kompromittierendem Material, um den britischen Abgesandten erpressen zu können. Bernadotte will Abgesandten erpressen. Mr. Bernadotte weiß, wie man aus einer Sache einen Vorteil zieht. Er erfuhr vom Missbrauch durch den Abgesandten und will sich dies mit Erpressung zunutze machen. Er würde Nila im Gegenzug für die Fotografie ein gutes Leben ermöglichen. Gnadenlose Gerechtigkeit. Der britische Abgesandte ist schlichtweg ein Widerling und Mr. Bernadotte versucht aus der Situation einen Vorteil zu ziehen. Ich kann keinem von ihnen trauen und nur die Wahrheit ist eine konstruktive Lösung. Ich sollte die Fotografie Mr. Vogel geben, damit er den Missbrauchsskandal an die Öffentlichkeit bringt. Unerwartete Kooperation. Mr. Bernadotte ist ein zwielicher Geschäftsmann, aber sein Versprechen, Nila und ihrem Kind ein gutes Leben zu ermöglichen, klingt glaubhaft. Ich werde Mr. Bernadotte die Fotografie geben, damit er den britischen Abgesandten erpressen kann. Ich habe noch eine Sache in dieser Fallmappe zu erledigen. Und das ist das hier. Warum finde ich den nicht? Cordona Chronicles, Polizeiwache, Rathaus. Das sind die 3 Dinger, die ich habe zum Kontrollieren. Wie war das nochmal hier? Wie hieß das Ding? Johns Zeichnung eines Vergewaltigers.
front door's now open, sir. You can leave through it. If you want, of course.
Guests of Cordona.
Einfach ausprobieren. Scheiß drauf. Thomas Norton, 40er geboren. 64 Abschluss an der University of Oxford. 69 im Innenministerium als Sekretär. 75 Militärarchitekt. Indien 77 von der Queen mit dem Order of Bath ausgezeichnet. 78 zum britischen Abgesandten auf Cordona ernannt. Ja, mit wem muss ich jetzt darüber reden? Also ich werde einen Scheißdreck dafür tun, nicht dafür zu sorgen, dass der hinterher wiederkommt. Ich werde ja nicht einen Deal mit ihm eingehen. Das wäre das Beschissenste, was ich nur machen kann. Dafür bin ich ja Sherlock Holmes. Dass ich die hinter Gittern bringe. Und für die Frau würde ich mir schon irgendwas anderes einfallen lassen können.
I need some time to consider your offer, Mr. Bernadotte.
If you insist, Mr. Holmes. Come back when you're ready to give me the photograph.
Okay. Mit wem könnte ich noch reden? Die unter der Brücke? Du kriegst auf gar keinen Fall die Fotografie. Wir reden hier um die Vergewaltigung von jemandem. Hier ist auch alles zu. Mit wem kann ich denn dann noch reden? Wieso kann ich das Gedankenspiel? Warum ist das leer? Ah, schon besser. Ich habe ja auch keine Auswahlmöglichkeit. Das ist jetzt nur dieses moralische Ding, ne? Der britische Abgesandte ist schlichtweg ein Widerling und Mr. Bernadotte versucht aus der Situation einen Vorteil zu ziehen. Ich kann keinem von ihnen trauen und nur die Wahrheit ist eine konstruktive Lösung. Ich sollte die Fotografie Mr. Vogel geben, damit er den Missbrauch Skandal an die Öffentlichkeit bringt. Schlussfolgerung ändern? Nein. Hä? Warum? Ich bin verwirrt schon wieder.
Have you found anything helpful? Muss ich ja reden, aber wie muss ich denn reden jetzt, verdammte Kacke?
Mr. Holmes, that envelope awaits. Surely you want the task?
I'm here on other business, Miss Sertle. Forgive me.
I will. But will your brother? Do come back when you have the time. It's quite something.
Weil es wird ja gesagt, dass man dann mit Personen in der Nähe reden muss. Ich habe doch hier herausgefunden, dass das hier ist. Das musste doch ja auch dann hier irgendwo sein.
Have you found anything helpful?
Irgendeiner von den Typen hat hier doch dann Informationen. Nein! Das ist doch jetzt wohl ein schlechter Witz.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
Der Order of Bar sieht recht abgenutzt aus. Der Mann ist stolz und scheint seinen Orden nie abzunehmen. Der rote Fleck auf seinem Handgelenk lässt vermuten, dass er vor kurzem Rotwein getrunken hat. Seine zerknitterte Kleidung, sein unrasiertes Gesicht und seine geröteten Augen deuten darauf hin, dass er an Schlaflosigkeit leidet oder von starken Schuldgefühlen geplagt wird. Er wirkt so, als ob er einen fortwährenden Albtraum durchlebt und am liebsten seine schrecklichen Erinnerungen an einstige Fehler loswerden will. Der rote Weinfleck auf dem Handgelenk und rasierte Gesicht sprechen für eine laxe Einstellung gegenüber seinen Pflichten. Der Orden of Bars sieht recht abgenutzt aus. Der Mann ist stolz, scheint seinen Orden nie abzunehmen. Zerknitterter Kleidung und den geröteten Augen nach zu urteilen, hat er die Nacht nicht zu Hause verbracht. Statt, ach hier kommt, gewissensgeplagte Scheiße.
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds?
Was ist das denn für ein Rotweinfleck?
Didn't you hear what I just said?
You blame yourself for what you did. It won't be any good unless you confess to me, so I'll try to be polite.
What sort of did are we talking about? Are you from the press?
I'm here because of Naylor.
Who?
You don't remember her name.
Lad, if you won't tell me why you came, I'll call for someone here to sort you out, if you get my meaning.
Do you recognize this man?
We definitely look alike. But you have the wrong person.
Really? Then you won't mind if I pass this along to the newspaper?
All right. All right. Is this about money, as you said in the letter? What kind of sum are we talking about?
I've never written a single word to you. Bribery, not my style.
So, that letter, it wasn't from you?
Well, it appears that more and more people in the city are finding out about your despicable hobby, doesn't it? You're in the clutches of justice, and very soon they will squeeze you. It's in your best interest to cooperate.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr...
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr...
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt. Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
That's not all. Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl. I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Was ist das denn schon wieder? Achso, das ist ja dann... Haben wir jetzt mit den beiden gesprochen? Haben wir das jetzt auch? Der Abgesandte hegt ein eigennütziges Interesse an der Fotografie. In seinem Besitz wäre keine Gefahr mehr. Endlich! Opfer von Missbrauch. Nida wurde missbraucht und fast entführt. Primär muss ich dafür sorgen, dass es ihr und ihrem Kind gut geht. Die Flüchtige sind Opfer des unmenschlichen Systems. Ihre Situation muss und kann... Was ist das hier? Gnadenlose Gerechtigkeit, unerwartete Kooperation. Hier haben wir jetzt gnadenlose Gerechtigkeit. Der britische Abgesandte verdient für seine Tat weder mein Vertrauen noch Vergebung. Eine ruinierte Karriere ist das Mindeste, was er verdient. Ich werde Werner Vogel die Fotografie geben, damit er die Sache in die Öffentlichkeit bringt. Thomas Norton ist ein Vergewaltiger, der bestraft werden sollte. Andererseits würde durch den Flüchtigen ein besseres Leben verwehrt bleiben. Ich werde dem Abgesandten die Fotografie geben, damit die Flüchtigen... Also das finde ich gerade schwul. Dass ich mich nur für eins hier entscheiden kann. Der britische Abgesandte ist schlichtweg ein Widerling und Mr. Bernadotte versucht aus der Situation einen Vorteil zu ziehen. Ich kann keinem von ihnen vertrauen und nur die Wahrheit ist eine konstruktive Lösung. Ich sollte die Fotografen Mr. Vogel geben, damit er den Missbrauchsskandal an die Öffentlichkeit bringen kann. Hä? Ich check's nicht gerade. Warum?
Have you thought it all through?
Not yet.
Ich kann mich nur dafür entscheiden, es einem von denen zu geben.
Have you thought it all through?
Ich will alle hinter Gitter bringen. Alle.
Refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh. I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me too. Now, what about the photograph?
Das fuckt mich übelst ab, ey. Als Sherlock Holmes hätte ich ja wohl beide hinter Gittern bringen können und dann hätte ich irgendwas für die Flüchtlinge daraus ziehen können. Aber so ein Ergebnis...
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Was mache ich jetzt hier schon wieder? Oh.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. Warren presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotte's office.
Bernadotte? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained, specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
I thought